Hey guys, welcome back to the Candle Channel. Today's Flashback Friday fragrance is going to be Heirloom Apple from 2016. This was in a collection that had labels of various leaves that you can see there that had like a foil or metallic element to it, and it was a wraparound label, and it came with a hammered lid with a cutout that had the sticker of the name on it, as you can see off to the side there. There were also fragrances like caramel woods, I believe, and some other fragrances in the collection as well. The notes on this read red cortland apple, creamy sandalwood, and marshmallow. So yes, this was the very first and original Heirloom Apple, which is actually a different fragrance from all the Heirloom Apples that came after it. And this was the far superior one, but of course, in true BBW fashion, it was a one-hit wonder and it never came back again. It smells so good. It's so much better than the other Heirloom Apples. So the other Heirloom Apples that came out after this is the same as the Honey Crisp Apple, which is pretty much the same as their usual like farm stand apple fragrance. It's that usual like ripe, crisp, like I call it a moldy apple, but it's supposed to be like a fresh, crisp apple. And it has like a distinctly like earthy freshness to it, whereas this one had a very distinct marshmallow note in it that made it so delicious and so juicy, and it was amazing, and it was the only time that it came out. But yeah, so what does this smell like? You most certainly get that red apple in there. It's a very juicy, drippy apple. It has a fresh and crispness to it without being that overly moldy variation that we get in all the other Heirloom apples and Honeycrisp apples and gingham apple and American apple and farm stand apple. It's not as moldy as that one. There's just a true juicy, fresh, drippy, wet red apple in there that's really nice. But then I also get quite a bit of pear in there too, because there's almost like a sweet, there's a syrupy sweet drippiness to it that also evokes like a pear fragrance, like a very sweet pear. So I get a juicy red apple mixed with a juicy pear fragrance, and then finally you get this heaps of like a juicy, sweet, smooth, almost velvety marshmallow fragrance. It's very, I would say it's an edible marshmallow fragrance. It's like a sweet, very sweet vanilla that makes it so creamy and so pleasant, and it's just like the perfect apple vanilla fragrance that I've ever come across, and it just enhances the apple and pear notes and just brings out the sweetness and just wraps it all together in this beautiful red apple plus pear plus marshmallow fragrance. It's gorgeous. It's quite a simple fragrance, but it's just so well executed that I really enjoy it. It's actually quite similar to Radiant Red Maple, but Radiant Red Maple had a slight more of like a cidery fermentation to it that is a little bit, I would even say slightly boozy, that this does not have. This one's a little bit sweeter and more simple, whereas Radiant Red Maple had a little bit more going on. But that is what Heirloom Apple smells like, and it's not to be confused with all the other Heirloom Apples that come after it. I would say there is maybe a little bit of like a spiciness to it that just makes it a little bit more vibrant and makes the apple and fruit notes pop a little bit. It's not overly spicy and overly cinnamon, but when I do smell it, I do get a hint of a like spice in there that just makes it pop a little bit more and makes it very vibrant. But overall, this fragrance is excellent. I would love to see it come back, but that's probably very wishful thinking. So it's pretty much what this fragrance smells like, and let me go into the performance. We're well into the mid-range point of this. This one actually has, even though it doesn't look like it on camera, it actually has quite a dirty burn, like the wicks curl in on you. And so there's a lot of like black, murky, like sooty residue that floats in the wax pool. And it does get kind of gross. I think in previous burns, I think I might have even cotton balled this because it was dudding out at one point, but it's doing flawlessly now, so I can't really complain about it. But I don't think this had a perfect burn on the original variation, but it's doing great now. The throw is also great. It's definitely medium to high. I would say anywhere from like a 6 to a 7, maybe even an 8 in a smaller bedroom. Like, it was very strong and very potent. It was much stronger than a current Bath & Body Works candle that was burning from 2021. It was doing great, and it's just like a beautiful, gorgeous, apple, pear, marshmallow fragrance, and I couldn't get enough of it. So the performance, as of now, is doing really well. Overall, this is an excellent fragrance. I feel like they could have maybe marketed it better as like apple vanilla or apple marshmallow or spiced apple vanilla, spiced apple marshmallow, something like that. And it maybe possibly would have been better. Heirloom Apple's kind of like a non-descriptive way to describe this fragrance. And it was also weird that they then released Heirloom Apple many times after this, but as a completely different fragrance. So we would always hope that it was the original Heirloom Apple, and it would end up not being that. But excellent fragrance, just perfectly well executed apple, marshmallow, apple, vanilla fragrance. Kind of sad that it doesn't ever come back again, but I'm appreciating the one that I have now. Let me know if you've tried this one or what your thoughts are on it, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.